Hey teachers, and thanks for joining me today and just joining us on the Google Classroom crash course. Today, we're going to be learning how to make presentations using Google Slides, which is basically like PowerPoint, but the Google Apps version. And one other difference that really sets it apart is that you can collaborate and work with people in real time to create or edit a document. So today we're just focusing on the creation portion of it because we don't really cover that elsewhere in this course. So let's get started. We're going to keep it really simple by starting with a template. So give me just a second here and I'm going to open up Slides in a new window. Okay, so when you first go to Google Slides, you can actually see you have all of your apps up here at the top, or not all of them, but most of them, the ones that you'll be using most frequently in your Google Classroom. And we're going to go to personal, and I'm actually going to make this full screen for you so you can see everything. Okay, so we're going to click on go to Google Slides for personal. Now, remember, I have a million emails, so I'm going to have to make sure, oh, perfect, I'm already logged into Teach Blog Travel. Okay, so as you can see, I have a few templates that I was already messing with in projects, but we're going to act like we've never made one before. So when we come in, you're going to see it says blank right here with a plus sign. That's if you just want a standard blank template and you want to start from scratch. But we're going to start with the template gallery because when you're just getting started with something, you want to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to click on template gallery. And if I click onto mine, it's going to show any templates I've made. And you can definitely submit templates. If you already have some that you like in PowerPoint, you can upload those and use them again. But we're going to go to general to see what else there is. So you can see they have the templates separated by purpose and topic. So we have these general ones for work. We have personal ones, so like a birthday invitation or maybe like even like a scrapbook, a video scrapbook. And then education is a little more our speed, right? So we have a how-to timeline, or you could even use this to make a historical timeline right there. You have a summary of a book support, a field trip summary, flashcards, a student certificate, science fair. This could be really great for when they're printing out their papers for their science fair trifold boards, for those of you who are also elementary teachers, and then for actually presenting their science project, this would be a good template for that. So I actually made one for flashcards for ELA turns for test preps. You can definitely check that out in the Google Classroom on the scavenger hunt assignment post. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to make a new resource really quickly. So I'm going to go into, let's go into field trip. So my class recently took a field trip to the Petrified National Forest, or also known as Petrified National Park. But I just want to get in and show you what this looks like. So it might take a second to load. As I've told you before, my internet is very slow. Being out here in the reservation, we don't have many options for that. Okay, so they already have some things filled in. They have the title page, the main idea here, the three main details. I can actually see that being a really great flea map. It's almost like a visual flea map if they're creating an informative essay. And by the way, that's a great way to extend and enrich and combine the need for test prep and also to see if they, what they learned from the field trip. So you could do an informative essay, or you could even do a persuasive essay. If you did multiple field trips, you could talk about what was their favorite field trip and why. So just a couple of assignment ideas. And so you can just go in here, and then we're going to pretend we made some changes. Now, like I've said before, there are some photos on here. And since I always assume that I do not have the license to use those photos, especially if you're going to do something commercially. So if you're selling anything on Teachers Pay Teachers, Amped Up Learning, or on your own website, you want to make sure that you are either using the stock photo program that you have paid for or individual photos that you have purchased a license for. And like I said, you may not have the same license privileges for commercial that you do for personal use. So make sure that you really know what your limitations and allowances are for photo usage, okay? But we're going to pretend I already made it. Let me just show you how you can edit things. So pretty easy, just click on it, type backspace. If you're going to select the font, you can just select it there, and you have a lot of options. You can go right up here and scroll through to change it. So we'll just change it there. And again, my internet is a little slow, so we'll just change that font. And just to go over these buttons here, so you have everything in file. Now, when you are editing a document from Google Classroom, and this is what your students are going to do, you're going to want to go to File, Make a Copy, And you can choose to either make a copy of the entire presentation or just selected slides, and that's what they're going to want to do if they're turning something into you. For editing, basic undo and redo, pasting. And for present, that's the same thing for slideshow if you want to see it. Animations, you can add animations to transition the slides. And all this else is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, images, text box, if you want to add a new one, you can add audio. So if you want to do like a recording of a presentation, you can do that, or you can have the students do that. And you can embed videos. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how and when to create a video in this course, as well as charts, tables. It's, like I said, very, very similar to PowerPoint. Okay, if you want to add a new slide, you can just right click and you have all your options right there. You can cut, copy, paste, duplicate, skip slide. So maybe if you have a PowerPoint presentation that you use for multiple uses, or you have some differentiation you're going to do, certain groups of students need to see some slides, others don't. Skip slide is a great way to use that. And so we're going to pretend that we already have it. So I'm going to go to File. You can either download it as any of these files, so you can download it as a PNG, which is a high quality image, PowerPoint, and of course, it'll automatically be saved in your Google Drive already. So when you go to add an assignment, when you're submitting one with me, you can just click from Google Drive. If you want to download it and re-upload it again, that's totally fine too. You can just go to download and pick the different type you want. Now, if you're going to make this an editable document, I would suggest downloading it as a PDF and then using a website like pdfescape.com to make those fields fillable. So you can switch to language. So like I said, it's very basic. You do have some options with themes. You can make it brighter or darker. So even if you're using a template, you can change it up a little bit. That's just another little comment to see. So open comment history. So obviously there's going to be nothing right now, but if you are collaborating, you have options to add a comment or to review comments. And I can even comment. Once you submit something to me, I can make a suggestion on it and you can send it back, and you can do the same thing with your students. You have an option to add a comment right here as well. So that is the basic crash course to Google Slides. Like I said, if you've used PowerPoint before, it's very, very similar. And I actually used this just earlier today to make my own. So let me just show you. This is what the flashcards template looks like. If it loads. So this is the basic one from Google Slides. And as you can see, they just have it for if you're learning Spanish. So you have a picture of pineapple, you'd say piña, la piña, flip it over. So some really basic interactive tool a student can do on their own. So that is the template that Google had. Let me show you how I made some changes to make it mine. And you do want to make those changes because you don't want to deal with copyright infringement or stealing of intellectual property. So as you can see, the subject is totally different. Before, I would definitely make a lot more changes to not use their template, but I just made this quickly so you can see different ways to change it. So I put my logo here because I like to do that just for my personal use, and also helps me to differentiate when I'm looking at image thumbnails, which is what. So I did one on ELA test prep. So you can see the first card says, what does PI stand for author's purpose? So the students can take a second. Do they remember? Do they remember? Flip it over. Yes, persuade, inform, entertain. So I just put some pictures in there to keep it fun. I use vocabulary, and so the lesson for text structures use the Leaning Tower of Pisa, so it's something they're familiar with. For main idea, I use a picture of Maine the place and a horse's mane, a little play on homophones there. So yeah, that is the basic steps of how Google Slides works. And I know that's really fast, and that's only going over the very few features, but for the purposes of this course, you're only going to have to use a template and create something. If you want to go above and beyond with that and make something really beautiful and unique, and you maybe even want to create like a drag and drop activity for that, you're definitely welcome to do that and submit it. But for the purpose of this assignment, I don't want to take too much of your time, so just make something really quick, easy, use a template. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for being a part of the Google Classroom Crash Course.